Greetings, this is Sean, and today I'm going to show how I make these miniature caster wheels. It's not really a good picture of it, but you'll get the idea. This is caster wheels you might put on a sofa or on something that you need to scoot around. Came up with this idea one day, and it's like, yeah, that'll work. So, it's basically brass tubes and a BB. And just the BB fits perfectly inside of the one brass tube there. It's a 3/16 of an inch inner diameter, and I don't know what the outer diameter is at the moment. And that's the exact same size as the BB, so it's a really good fit. It's not too tight of a fit. And anyway, this is a little pipe cutter here, and you use a little pipe cutter to cut a piece off, and I'm just arbitrarily doing it, but you would want to measure out how long you want your caster wheel to be. If you've never used a pipe cutter, all you do is you just put it on the end of where you want it to cut, and you just tighten it to where it's just tight enough to be able to turn around. Give it a few spins, give it another tighten, spin it around, and keep doing that over and over until it pops off. Which there's a better way to do it than the way I'm doing it, because as you'll see here in a minute, that just sends everything flying. There I'm kind of trying to show you a close-up of what it looks like cutting, but the light's not at a good angle. Anyway, if you push too hard, it just pops off like that. So in the next pipe I cut, you'll be able to see a little bit better. Actually, it's a tube, not a pipe. But anyway, when you do cut it, it rounds off the end. It kind of pinches it closed just enough so that when you put the BB inside, that ridge right there, see how there? That's how it looks normally. The BB fits in perfectly and won't come out. As you can see, it's stuck inside there. Well, I'm gonna get a better angle. Oop, there we go. See, it perfectly fits in and won't come out. So, taking that concept, what I do is I take another piece, a smaller piece that is an outer diameter of 3/16 of an inch, and stick it inside of the tube, and that holds the ball in place so that it won't move around. And that's basically the caster wheel. And my finger's in the way, but it's actually rolling really nicely and smoothly on the cutting mat there. It's almost like a big ballpoint pen. As a matter of fact, if you had ink and put it in there, you could make a giant ballpoint pen with that. That's basically how it is. Anyway, I made this little cube here to kind of hold it in place for. I was actually using this for something else, but it just happened to work out. Now what I'm doing is I'm drawing a line, and this is right at the top of the bigger tube, and just twirling it around to make a line for where to cut the next tube. Now, when I actually do cut this tube, I'm not cutting on that line, but if I were to make one of these for real use, I would cut it at that line so it's nice and flush and with that tube there. But I end up doing it, cutting it a little bit bigger, just because. But that line can also be used to show which side goes down into the tube if you needed to make this tube that I'm cutting here longer. Not that it really matters, but anyway. A better way to use this cutting tool is, instead of turning if you can hold it strong enough, instead of turning it the way I'm turning it there, is to hold it like I am there, and turn the tube in the tool instead of turning the tool around the tube. That way you don't lose control of it when it breaks. See how I'm doing there, kind of back and forth. Then tighten it go back and forth. And when you turn the knob, you just want to turn it a little bit until you feel resistance. You don't want to do it so hard, because if you do it really super hard, either one, it won't turn, or two, it'll crush the pipe instead of cut the pipe. So anyway, then all I do here is I super glue that tube inside the other one, just with some thick CA glue, and it holds it very well. I've tried soldering it, which you can solder it too. That works well. The only thing is it discolors the brass, and but it does solder. I didn't record me doing that, but I was able to solder a piece on. Here I'm just using a thick CA glue. That way it doesn't run down the tube and into where the ball is at. It kind of stays more on the outside. And then I spritz it with some accelerator to make it, and it works really well. Holds it really firm. I suppose you could, instead of using that little tube, you could probably use a piece of bamboo skewer or a dowel or something like that to go inside if you wanted the inside part to be wood to attach to, like I said, the underneath side of a sofa or an easy chair or a refrigerator, or something that you would want to put caster wheels on to be able to roll around for a little bit more authenticity, I suppose. So anyway, I had a little bit of difficult time trying to get this to stay upright, and I was worried that I glued my finger to it, and which I almost did. But anyway, that's how I make caster wheels. By the way, I did just measure just now, and the outside diameter of the larger tube that the ball sits in is 7/16 of an inch. Let me double check that. Pretty sure it was 7/16. Nope, 7/32 of an inch, which is almost an eighth of an inch, or quarter of an inch. So anyway, there I'm just kind of showing how it rolls around, and you could use that and attach it to, like I say, whatever you need to. Here's a close-up of it. Anyway, hope this is helpful. Hope you find a use for it. I know I have. It's going to go on my daybed workbench probably. Anyway, have a better day, as I always say.